before we delve into the newspapers, let me remind you that you can join the conversation on Press Drive. You can call the studio lines, which are open when it's time. On Facebook, you can watch us live at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Like, share, follow us. And if you want to react to the stories this morning, please do feel free to drop a comment right there. I'll start with the Punch newspaper. One of the top headlines right there includes workers in 109 embassies groan over 6 months on paid salaries. Workers in 109 embassies groan over 6 months on paid salaries. 54 trillion naira budget. National Assembly raises recurrent vote. Cuts 500 billion naira from capital spending. 54 trillion naira budget. National Assembly raises recurrent vote. Cuts 500 billion naira from capital spending. President Tinubu, former President Obasanjo, others mourn as Edwin Clark dies at 97. Lagos Assembly says Tinubu's wife not involved in crisis. Lagos Assembly says President Tinubu's wife not involved in crisis. And finally, on the Punch newspaper this morning, NNPCL. Shell sponsor 5,000 fibroid hernia surgeries. NNPCL and Shell sponsor 5,000 fibroid and hernia surgeries. And I'm seeing a particular story, or two stories. Federal government begins crackdown on exam malpractices. Federal government begins crackdown on exam malpractices. Nigerians must name, shame bad leaders, says former President Jonathan. Nigerians must name, shame bad leaders, says former President Goodluck Jonathan. Now let's go through the Nation newspaper this morning. Let's go through some of its headlines. CBN axes bank chiefs with toxic loans. CBN axes bank chiefs with toxic loans. Governors Obi, Ibori, Tempolo. Others mourn Ijo leader Clark. Governors Obi, Ibori, Tempolo. Others mourn Ijo leader Clark. PDP Supreme Court to hear Anyawu's appeal against SAC March 10th. PDP Supreme Court to hear Anyawu's appeal against SAC March 10th. Other headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning includes, I'm seeing some other headlines right there on the Nation newspaper. All right. The scars that beautify our story. The scars that beautify our story. That's one of the headlines right there. DSS writes TV stations demands retraction apology. DSS writes TV stations demands apology. Netherlands to return 119 looted Benin bronzes to Nigeria. Netherlands to return 119 looted Benin bronzes to Nigeria. NIMET NGO partner to access end users of weather information. NIMET NGO partner to access end users of weather information. TLC unveils new look. Yoruba leaders Obas in North pledge commitment to unity and progress. Yoruba leaders Obas in North pledge commitment to unity and progress. And finally, on the Nation newspaper this morning, Niger South elders condemn opposition of road construction. Niger South elders condemn the position of road construction. right, we're done with the headlines of the newspapers with me this morning because of time. Let's move to details of the stories we want to look at. Joining me for analysis is Honorable Femi at DBC. It's good to have you on Press Drive this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Esther. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
I'm doing fine also. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, our people from all over the world. We are here once again, and I hope that you are there for us as well. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Remember, you can be a part of the conversation on Press Drive. You can call the studio lines, which will open when it's time. You can watch us live on Facebook at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live, at I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Like, share, follow us. We would appreciate that. Let's start with this particular story on the Punch newspaper. Honorable 54 trillion naira budget. National Assembly raises recurrent vote, cuts 500 billion naira from capital spending. The National Assembly on Tuesday reviewed the 2025 budget, which was passed last week, reducing the capital expenditure component while raising the recurrent expenditure. The lawmaker said the review became necessary following some errors in the past budget. Although the budget size remains 54.99 trillion naira, the capital expenditure was reduced by more than 500 billion naira, while the recurrent expenditure was increased by the same amount. At plenary sessions on Tuesday, both the Senate and the House of Reps effected corrections in the figures earlier passed for some of the ministries, departments and agencies, with some increasing while others had a downward review. The chairman of the House Committee on Rules and Business, Francis Wave, APC Delta, who presented the motion for the review of the approved items, said the action became necessary because the Joint Appropriation Committee noticed errors in the figures earlier passed. Okay, and the story goes on and on. What's the import of this? How does it affect some of the things going on in the country, the economy and all of that? Because, I mean, they now said they didn't reduce the amount, neither was it increased. But when it came to the capital and recurrent expenditures, some adjustments were made, and for some MDAs also. So what's the import of this?
Oh, well, between capital expenditure and recurrent expenditures, I think the expectations of an average Nigerian is that we have upward review of appropriations to capital expenditures, so that so that we witness more of wealth creations. We witness more of infrastructural upgrades. You know, there are several areas that are calling for and yearning for, attention. Yes, of course, we've been paying a whole lot of attention to roads and all that, but there are several other key areas of capital expenditures that we need to, actually vote more money for. But of course, I'm here to go through the details of the review of that particular appropriations. I don't know which aspect of the capital expenditures that have been reviewed downward, but what I query is the rationale, of increasing money appropriated to recurrent expenditures. So it means that we don't have more fiscal I don't know what is. I don't know what is what. I'm not privy yet to the details. I'm not privy yet to the details. But of course, I want to strongly criticize. I want to strongly criticize. Increasing more of budgetary allocations to recurrent expenditures. Before this administration set in, or let me say shortly before they came on board. They've been saying that, okay, we are going to implement the ways, civil service reform and all that, collapsing several ministries, scrap the ones that are not performing and all that. So, yes, of course, up to today, nothing. Yes, you have collapsed, engagement right there. Some of them can afford not to go to office and nothing goes wrong. So, so what, are we productively engaged even when we are engaged as a people? So we've been wasting money here and there. So I don't know the rationale to, recurrent expenditures. I don't know.
Okay. All right, let's go away from that and let's come to this particular story before we come to Lagos State. Workers in 109 embassies groan over 6 months unpaid salaries. At least 450 foreign service officers in 109 Nigerian missions abroad have yet to receive their salaries for the past 5 to 6 months. The Punch reports the officials serving under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs are in financial distress and cannot pay rent and children's school fees or meet other family and social obligations. The acting spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kemibi Ebienfa, acknowledged the financial challenges facing the Nigerian missions and assured that the leadership was working to resolve the issue. Paid salaries.
When your mouth contains more than being cake, your mouth can hot to contain. Then there'll be crisis. You get hiccup. So that is under federation, when you are practicing a kind of presidential system of government, you are practicing in a federation. So there is a limit to which the federal government can arrogate to itself in terms of power. They are more dictatorial. They have too much power. They venture into what ought not to be. For example, what concerns the federal government in constructing roads in states, and in a state you call that your own road, federal roads. No, it's not done. What is their concerns about establishing universities? They need to go and study the American model of presidential system of government. No, federal government doesn't hold universities there. No, it's not within their schedule. So they have limited schedule, and those schedule they can undo effectively. But when English will say, go into our research institutions across the country. Many of them are yet to complete salary over 1 year. And then you are saying that they should not steal from the comfort of his office.
Did he have to go?
And of offices. But of course, the more they travel, the more the money that comes to their pocket. So, I don't know. So, but of course, I think the federal government, we need to rework the entire system in such a manner that the federal government will be disengaged from what you call agric ministry. You have to disengage them from what you call health ministry. Rather, they should be involved in policies, not in all these ministerial activities. So you disengage them from all these public works and all those stuff. That shouldn't be a part of their schedule. So, and when they have limited and cogent schedule, maybe interior, external affairs, finance, monetary angle and all that, that should be enough for them to handle. And of course, they will handle. In fact, do you know that they get governors now? They have established all this region or something, and then you see federal government more involved in what you call infrastructural development at various. That shouldn't be a part of their schedule. You say the legislators too, they get involved in the schedule of the executives in terms of provisions of critical infrastructure too, in the name of what they call zonal intervention. What are you if you should intervene in terms of legislation, not in terms of saying you want to construct a road or anything. No, that shouldn't be. So everything is modeled up in Nigerian system. The system is bad enough, and in fact, it's bad enough. It should go into extinction, and that is why Professor Wolinika said that no, you don't need restructuring. What you need is reconfiguration, and when you reconfigure, it means that you have to format the system. And when you format, you don't see anything on the system. Then you begin again. That is what that man suggested. Is it all right?
All right, thank you very much. Let's go to more stories, and this is in accordance to Section 19 of the Banking and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020, which states that all banks are required to implement specific measures concerning the insider-related loans on their books. So CBN axes bank chiefs with toxic loans.
Oh, well, maybe those bank chiefs, maybe they found out that maybe they are meddling with the oppositions. That is my thinking, because they are not. This administration is not serious about what we call banking reforms, and if you don't do that, you need to know that the reason why we find ourselves today economically is because of our banks, the CBNs and the Deposit Money Bank, the DBNs. DMB. So, that is why we find ourselves where we're buying debts, building universities to the extent that they even advertise such universities on CNN. Why? A whole lot of those things are happening. And nobody is talking. The government keep looking. So, And you see, go into what the IMF chief, the World Bank chief in this country said. He said that their prescription is that they should widen the tax net, not increasing tax burden. But he said what this administration is doing to the contrary prescription, and that's why they said that they did not prescribe, what those things. So he said that those are our homegrown issues. So bankers, they are the main for our crisis. Rather, they look towards the people to keep salvaging what they are not to salvage. It's like a kind of social injustice to me. Yoruba will say, "Ẹni tó bá dafano la máa fi ń kófá." But of course, the one that offended the gods has appeared. So it is the God itself you want to punish. No, it shouldn't work that way. It should not be that way. So banking reforms is so stinking to the extent that they have destroyed the economy totally. Totally. The 2022 CBN Act, nobody pay attention to it. When that particular act says that the official, the legal means of transaction in the country is Nigerian naira, the same set of people are guilty. What they keep in their homes and their vaults, including the circumstance, because circulation, but in some people's vaults, including the people that are governing us. So, and you are claiming that you have too much money out there. How do you control it? You are controlling what is not controllable. So that's why they are not getting it right in terms of controlling inflation up to date in this country.
All right, thank you very much. Let's come to this to Lagos State now. And this headline says, I have two stories right there. Lagos Assembly says Tinubu's wife not involved in crisis. The Lagos State House of Assembly has distanced the wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, from the crisis rocking the assembly. This was made known in a statement issued by the House spokesperson Olukayode Ogundipe on Tuesday. There have been speculations alleging that President Bola Tinubu's wife may be backing the ousted Speaker of the Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa. The House distanced itself from such rumor, saying all the lawmakers hold the First Lady in high esteem. Meanwhile, some lawmakers on Tuesday met with the executives of the All Progressives Congress in the state to brief them about happenings at the House. The state chairman of the party, Cornelius Ojelabi, in a post on his X page, said the State Working Committee received members from the Lagos State House of Assembly, providing them with update on the latest development, fostering official communication between the party and legislative members. When contacted, the publicity secretary of the party in the state, Sheye Oladejo, said the meeting was simply to brief the executives of the happenings at the assembly. But majorly, the headline says Lagos Assembly says Tinubu's wife not involved in crisis. Then the other story, which I want us to put together, we remember the issue of DSS invasion and all. DSS right TV stations demands retraction and apology. The Department of State Services has accused two television stations, that's AIT and Channels Television, of officially airing false, defamatory and malicious reports against its activities. The service said the first report were based on the presence of its personnel at the Lagos State House of Assembly on Monday. The agency, through its lawyer, Chief Ayodeji Adidipe SAN, demanded a retraction and public apology that must be published within 7 days, or both criminal and civil lawsuit to be filed against the television stations. And the story goes on. Okay, now let me add this. The secret police insisted that it was duly invited through a letter by the deputy clerk to support the security operatives attached to the assembly in order to forestall an immediate... this is what they've been saying, and they've insisted that was their assignment. So let's put these two stories together.
Well, I think the media too should be very careful about the choice of words. When the police or secret, agencies, when they invade, how do you define that action? When they are there to perform their, statutory, responsibility, that is the job of securing the nation. So, how do you define that? So it's like the module of that choice of words. It shouldn't be invasion.
Okay.
Of course, they will not be there except they are invited. That is one thing. It is either they are invited by the people that are interested at the center, or the governor invites them. So it's either way. because the governor is the chief security officer. But be that as it may, let us set that one aside. The major one there happened to be the legislative, Buhaha in the Lagos State House of Assembly. So, the Awurosasas of Lagos, they fail to see what the president is looking at. The Awurosasas are looking, I'm talking about the GSs or whatever now. Okay. So, they are looking at the immediate. While the president and his wife is looking at 2027. Okay. So, if you get a known demon, if you know a demon now, you know that demon very well, you can manage. So, Mudasiru Obasa is a very influential demon, in quotes now, in that particular scheme of politics in Lagos. And they know that should the opposition have access to this man, it will be a crisis. And the result of the last presidential election in Lagos State, that one still live in the memory of the president, that they fear very badly in their own home during that first election. So they wouldn't want a repeat. Now, they are not likely to get as much support as they got in the last administration from the north. So they want to consolidate right from the south. And Lagos, which is the base of the president. So they will not want Muda Obasa to be offended or to be ousted, if possible. And if it's going to be ousted at all, well, they have to give him a soft landing. So that is the thinking of His Excellency and Her Excellency. That is their own thinking, which is very purely political. But of course, that shows that the legislative arm of government does not get independence. That is what everything boils down to. They can't decide for themselves. They can't do things for themselves. And see, when the executive arm of government and the legislative arm, you cannot differentiate, it's a crisis. It's a breakdown of democracy. It means that because I keep saying it, the reason why you get democracy is because of the presence of the legislative arm of government, which is when that office is compromised, then do you want to claim that we have democracy in the true sense of it? Well, I said it right from the onset that the way and manner the presidents handle this matter will determine how they will fare in the next election in Lagos State, because Obasa is a known devil in that place. Devil in quote now, not as if I'm calling him a bad man. So, they need to handle him with care. It's fragile.
We continue to be relevant in Jesus' name.
Amen.
I'm Evangelist Solataiwo from Bukwaraba. Honorable. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
With what happened now, the current expenditure being increased by the president, do you think the masses will enjoy the budget, sir? Because we know the current expenditure is for the executive. They have increased their spending now with what happened. Do you think we can enjoy we will benefit the budget, sir? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Evangelist.
Maybe what we should do is that let us look at the appropriation to health and let us divide that particular money by 240 million. So get to know what you are spending on an individual. So do the same to agriculture. Do same. Then you get to know that we are nowhere.
All right. To keep it coming in, 0705 500 1033 0905 444 1033. We have a few comments on our Facebook page already, and then we'll take that also pretty soon. All right, we'll wait for calls so that we can put everything together. Let's check the stories on security that I mentioned earlier. And we have two stories right there. And one has to do with military to release 381 ex-terrorists, urges empowerment, monitoring by state. The other says 789 ex-terrorists combatant undergoing DRR, says Chief of Defense Staff, that's Christopher Musa. So let me put it together. A total of 789 former terrorists
killed. Some are dead for life, but terrorists that kills and maims and destroy. Before you could be engaged in such an organization, I'm telling you, my sister, you would have killed your conscience first. And once your conscience is killed, which kind of radicalization can restore that conscience? No, it's not done. So, I told you, I mentioned it. In the world, when it comes to criminality, there are two sets of people you don't spare. You don't spear terrorists, you don't spear spies. But in Nigeria, we can spear terrorists, and then the people that engage in what do you call it now, self-realization, you can dock them for life. So no negotiation. But you negotiate with terrorists, but you cannot negotiate with your own people when they are, when they are feeling, less after, and they complain. So you can jail them, you can kill them, you can set police against them. But of course, when it comes to the issue of terrorists, you can say, okay, don't worry, we will deradicalize, and then they will be on life pensions. After all those perpetrations, I'm not in support anyway. I'm not in support.
All right, because I'm saying 381 terrorists will graduate by 2025 from the deradicalization program.
Graduate. Where is their school?
All right, let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Auntie.
You're welcome, sir. Pastor Idili. It's good to have you.
My honorable sir, good morning, sir.
My own pastor, good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. I was so nice, sir.
Fine, thank you very much, sir.
Pastor Idili, I'm speaking from Alakia.
It's good to have you, sir.
I want to express my view on this issue of security.
Okay.
I read Benue and killed some people in the community and burned the community down. When they want to escape to Cameroon, that the Cameroonians gendarmes accosted them and killed all of them. Which means that some of these criminals, even the majority of them, they are not Nigerians. Okay, now, I want to ask a question, my honorable sir.
Yes, sir.
Has it been that all these terrorists are from southwest or southeast and they are caught? Would they still be given this kind of VIP treatment they are being given in the north there?
I hope you remember Operation Crocodile Smile of the southeast. So when you agitate, you are a terrorist. So, and then they don't spare you. But of course, when it comes to these people, that is when I notice something like, okay, we are going to rehabilitate and
deradicalize program.
Hello,
yes, Pastor Adele.
Will you remember the time of IPOP when in Amdikano, when there was a kind of uprising there? The Nigerian military went there and bombed that place and killed all of them. This Nandikano escaped by the breath of air. Now, why is it that when they arrested the terrorists in the north, they captured them, they would radicalize them, and they will be
on life pension.
Baba Bolowo said something. He said Nigeria is a geographical expression, not a nation, not a country. I don't know. Only God can savage us in this country.
Pastor, can you remember the issue of Kensarowiwa? You remember what happened to them? You remember Okwaga? I mean, this particular town. The military just occupy and virtually, destroy them and send them packing out of there. And the governor did not have access. The commissioner of police did not have access. They merely occupy that place.
Okay.
That's the way we react when it comes from the south.
Okay.
Well, of course, I don't want to emphasize inside, but of course, essentially, when you are talking about terrorism, they are not to be spared.
Okay.
That is the truth.
All
and
right.
if you don't want to kill them, catch them somewhere.
All right.
And don't unleash them back into the system.
We have to go on a break right now, and then when we come back, we'll take more calls and reactions.
My people, me and you don't get electricity wahala again. Oh, I see solar don't make and they easy kulele. With this new kind of bonga easy life solar product, we then just carry land with the motor for Ibadan. With this them powerful solar kits, we dey for different sizes, original power stations like a 200 watts, 300 watts, 600 watts. With the inverter embedded solar kit, we get 6 brighter bulbs, an attractive solar radio within charging points. Una fit take a charge your phones, correct solar freezer, different lithium batteries, tabular batteries, portable Android projector, different solar inverters, electric motorbike with sharp as with
10:33. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, welcome.
It's good to have you, Mrs. Yunusa.
I don't know why we are like this in Nigeria. We spare the people that is not good. We dislike the people that are good. We hate the people that are good. But the people that can kill, can destroy, we spare them. Spare terrorists. For what reason? One day, they will wake up in one day and destroy all of them, destroy army, destroy everything. If they say them that they will change, they can't change you. They can't. Lie, they can't change. They have their conscience. Their conscience told them to kill. and destroy. That is what they are. They are teaching 100 up to 100 army in this Nigeria, and all of us we hear, and now we say we leave them. For what reason? For what? For what purpose? What are they going to do for us? Nothing. They will destroy. They will kill. May God help this Nigeria.
Amen. Thank you very much. Mrs. Unisa, we appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. And the fact that you mentioned is back. Thank you very much. Mrs. Unisa, we appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. And the fact that you mentioned is baffling that you mentioned the fact that they receive life pension.
Of course,
is that a general thing for all terrorists that are rehabilitated, or
after rehabilitation they put them on monthly stipends? That is pension.
So that they don't go back to the terrorism.
Do you think whatever we are going to give them can equate, what they get, the legacy they get
life
when
pension
in their camp, or the assets the unlimited assets they have to our natural resources?
Wow.
That they mine. No, it's not done.
It's mind-boggling. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Queen Esther.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, how are you born? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, this is Tolu.
Good morning. It's been a while.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You see, our analyst is very correct with his position concerning the state of things as far as security is concerned in Nigeria. These people know what they are doing. See, I see it as impunity. And it's too much. Because how can you say you want to rehabilitate the people who have mayhem, who have killed so many people in the country? And in fact, to what journalists have said, some of them are even being sponsored abroad to go and study, while the children of those that have been killed are busy begging for arms here in the country. Please, where is the fairness in none of that? And that is why I said it is high time we decentralize the security architecture in this country. Let there be state police, please. It is high time. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tolulokwe. We appreciate your comment. All right, let's go on Facebook because of time. Let's go on Facebook and let's take some comments a couple of comments that we have on our Facebook page. Thank you very much. I have this from Oluwaseun Ruth on Facebook. She says, "Good morning, I-FLIER FM. I just wonder if we can really get it right in this country under the APC administration, because they keep giving us hope on newspapers. Imagine telling us inflation rate has dropped to 24.8% and think, good morning, as much as I want to believe that the inflation rate has decreased, I struggle to convince myself that it will have a tangible impact on the Nigerian economy. This isn't the first time we've heard about a supposed decrease, only to see no meaningful changes in the economy. We're tired of reading about solutions to Nigeria's problems in the newspapers. What we truly need is action and tangible results." I have this from Pastor Dr. Mukaila. In all, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate your comment. All right, let's come to Mr. Tolulokwe Adeyemi. He has a couple of comments, but let me say this. Good morning. Where is the lie in the news that high cost of electricity is upon by the Association of Resident Doctors in UCH, IBADAN, over lack of power supply? And this can be seen as a subset of what is happening in our teaching hospitals